It's Friday. This is the Happy Families podcast. We're so glad you're back. Thanks for joining us. Today is homeschooling over for the Coulsons. A big conversation in our I'll Do Better Tomorrow episode, plus more from this week in parenting. Oh my goodness, we've got a big Roblox update. Massive news for our 18-year-old daughter, and some feedback. We've been getting more feedback on the pod lately in our episodes than ever before. Some feedback that we must share about ADHD and medication, and a whole lot more. It's the Happy Families podcast. Stay with us. G'day, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, Real Parenting Solutions, every single day on Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. We are Justin and Kylie Coulson. We're the parents of 6 kids. I'm the author of a bunch of books and the host of a TV show on Channel 9 that hopefully you've seen and loved, Parental Guidance. And today, Kylie, we're kicking off our I'll Do Better Tomorrow with This Week in Parenting. Thank you, JR, for making me sound so, big, so big. I'm not really that big. A couple of things that we need to go through. Number one, Kylie, so my I'll Do Better Tomorrow, I'm just going to do it now. I've been sick. I've had food poisoning all week. I've been in bed. I have not had any interactions that have been worth sharing with anybody, especially on the pod. It's been horrible. And it's been a big week for our 18-year-old, our first bit of This Week in Parenting. This is not national news. This is just our news. Graduation.
Done, finished, finale. It's all over.
We've just got the formal tomorrow night, which is a bit of an affair, and then we never have to talk about this child in school again, and we are so relieved. So that's This Week in Parenting. You went to the graduation. I stayed at home, and
I'm sure that you willed yourself to be sick for that.
I've been to so many of these things. I mean, I really wanted to be there for her, but I'm not sorry that I wasn't there for it. How was it?
Everything you expected.
Perfect. All right, second thing for This Week in Parenting. I can't believe how fast the time's gone, but 2 weeks ago, we did an episode that created a lot of feedback. Emails, podcasts at happyfamilies.com.au, or you can send us a voice note to the same address, podcast at happyfamilies.com.au, or you can just go to happyfamilies.com.au and push the button and start talking. It's really, really easy. First off, an email. This one came through from Liz, who said, I found your recent Halloween episode on ADHD absolutely brilliant. I, too, have read Sammy Tamimi's book, Searching for Normal, and Naughty Boys in Pursuit of a Theoretical Spine to what I feel intuitively about ADHD therapy talk and the growing mental health explosion. As a mum of a son that has withstood a barrage of teachers telling me to put my son on medication, I found your insights spoke to my soul. Thank you for being a forever curious learner and being open to other ideas. It's refreshing in a world of false certainty. That was from Liz. We didn't get any negative feedback. We only got positive feedback on that episode, which I was surprised by because it's a really provocative and challenging topic. But a thoughtful question came through. Today's not a doctor's desk episode. It's not a tricky questions episode, but I think we can answer this one really fast. And it just highlights the complexity and the challenge around that particular topic and why it was one of our most listened to episodes in recent months. Here's the question that came through.
I really liked the episode you guys just did on the ADHD medication research. And I understand from what you presented that there can be a lower quality of life for children who do take ADHD medication. And I know that Mrs. Happy Families said that, a lot of the time it feels like children are medicated for the convenience of their parents. But what I would love to hear your thoughts on is what about quality of life for parents? I mean, I think most parents probably wouldn't want to medicate their child just to make their own lives easier. But when the ADHD is at a point where everyone's quality of life is impacted, what are your thoughts on that? Kids are struggling at school, relationships are being impacted, there's fights all the time at home, parents are just struggling to cope. Where does that sort of sit in your experience and your thoughts? I'd really, really love to know.
So thoughtful, heartfelt question, really tricky stuff.
I think it's really important for parents to know that we're not the experts in everything. And you are the expert in your family. You have to make decisions that feel right for you and your children. Like, we've got opinions, we've got experience in so many different areas, and we have experience with our children specifically. But each family has to kind of work through these things and gather the information that feels right to them and make a decision that's going to make a difference in their lives.
Yeah, so I mean, on top of experience and opinion, I've got more than 20 years of experience doing this work now. And my response is a little bit different to yours. I'm probably a little bit more, I don't know, polarizing with my response. Am I a polarizing person?
I remember being a young mum and being lost a lot of the time and trying to make decisions, and everybody's got an opinion, and it's so loud.
Yeah,
and
the hardest thing is you go and see the specialist, and then
yes,
and the specialist tells you stuff, but then you listen to the podcast, and I'm saying, well, actually, the research is saying something. The specialist clearly, and research shows that specialists aren't reading the research.
But the challenge is, I stopped listening to my own voice. I stopped listening to what felt intuitively right for me and my child.
Yeah, I still don't know that intuition is always going to be right either. Sometimes we need to rely on the research. And the research. So here's how I would respond, which is just a little bit counter to you. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I have a different response to this. And my response is as follows. If you are struggling with a child who is medicated.
They're not medicated. She's asking.
Oh, yeah. So do I put my child on medication because things are crazy? I'm going to say we've got to stop blaming the child.
Yeah.
And we've got to stop diagnosing the child, because this is not a child problem in most instances. This is an environment problem.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say, as impossible as it sounds, and I don't know how you do it in practical terms, because everyone's got 2 or 3 jobs and everyone's struggling to pay the mortgage or the rent and cost of living and kids and school and whatever. But I would be saying, what can you do to get off the hamster wheel? What can you do to start playing the game by different rules? Everyone says that your kids have to go to school, that they have to sit in this round hole and act like this square peg, or whatever it is. And my question is, why? So we had similar struggles early on with our daughter, and we just said, well, we're not going to play that game anymore. And yeah, there's an element of privilege when you can say, well, we've got a parent who is able to stay at home and become a full-time homeschool parent.
I'm just going to push back. It might feel like privilege to some people, but it's totally turned my life upside down.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Like, it's not, I haven't made this decision because it makes my life easier. In so many ways, it complicates my life beyond belief. It would be so much easier for me to send her to school.
Not to mention the fact that you've had jobs in the past and you might like to work, and now that's just not an option. And our family wouldn't mind if you were doing that. We could do with some extra dough every now and again, especially with Christmas coming up.
I don't spend time with friends. I have stopped doing all of the things that bring me joy.
Yeah.
This is not. I get a little bit antsy when we're kind of talking about being privileged to make the decision. This has actually been a really hard decision.
So what I'm really getting at here, though, is this is an environmental thing more often than not. And if you can change the environment, get rid of screens, make sure that diet's good, is sleep happening, is there enough physical activity? I'm looking at all of those things first before I'm saying let's medicate. And
I agree entirely. I think that too often we just want the quick fix because we feel stretched. We're stretched. Our lives take so much from us, and often as parents, we've kind of got little to give our kids at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But we've got the whole mix wrong.
Hopefully that's a helpful, quick answer. It's not a tricky question episode. This is a This Week in Parenting, housekeeping. Let's just do the quick roundup. There's one more piece of This Week in Parenting news that I need to run through that is very important. Roblox. Oh my goodness, Roblox is in the news again. Roblox has contacted me directly. I've had some fairly strong things to say about Roblox over the years, and they have shared some recent communications about some changes that are happening, and I just think it's important that I pass those on, because if you're a parent who's been listening to the podcast for a long time and have taken the same approach that we have, that our children are not going to be on Roblox, you might want to know about it. So basically, what they're doing now, as a result of the December 10 changes, even though the government is not mandating that Roblox do this, Roblox is currently not on the list. What they are doing is that they're requiring a facial age check for all users who are accessing chat features now. Let me say that again. All users who are accessing chat features now require a facial age check. So they're technically the first online gaming or communication platform to do that. It's already kicked off. It started a couple of days ago, literally this week. Users can voluntarily, and let me just emphasize voluntarily, complete an age check to secure chat access. ahead of the upcoming requirements. They're doing it here in the Netherlands and New Zealand, which I think is quite interesting. And then they're planning on rolling it out globally in January. Now, what does that mean? Why does that matter? What it means is that they can now implement what they're calling age-based chat. So basically, your child uploads an image of themselves, right? And then they will be put into groups according to age group. So you can only chat with people in your age group. Under 9s, 9 to 12s, 13 to 15, 16 to 17, 18 to 20, or 21 and over. You can chat with those in your own age group, and similar age groups as appropriate. So this, there's one other thing that's worth highlighting here. To keep their youngest users safe, chat in experiences will be turned to default off if you're under 9, unless a parent provides consent after an age check. So there's a few other things in there that we don't have time to talk about in today's pod, but Roblox have reached out and they've said, we're doing something here.
Well, it's always nice to know that someone's trying. How do you think this will impact kids' safety moving forward?
So whenever I hear the idea of trying, I'm reminded of Master Yoda in Star Wars.
Try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
I think that these are positive changes. The proof is in the pudding. It's not going to change my mind about allowing our daughter on Roblox. There are still too many other problems in terms of the conversations that happen, the games that are available on the platform, the content that's available. They are saying now that they're going to be putting limits on mature content and external link sharing, that they're going to be increasing parental controls for visibility and customization. Proof's in the pudding. I'm not willing to trust them yet. I don't think that they've done anything. I don't think any tech company has done anything that says, oh, okay, they've got my child's best interests at heart. I truly don't believe that they do. I'm not a screens bad kind of person. I'm a life and childhood is good kind of person, and I don't think that this is a necessary part of a healthier, happy childhood. So I wanted to pass it on because they are making improvements, and I want to give some credit where credit's due. I don't think the credits are nearly big enough or good enough, and I don't believe that they're going to move the needle in a meaningful way, although it is a start, and I'm pleased about that. Righto, that's it for our housekeeping. Our 15-year-old got cranky at me the other day. She said, Dad, I don't like I'll Do Better Tomorrow anymore. There's too much housekeeping and not enough stories about us. So after the break, is our youngest going to keep on homeschooling? You've had a conversation. It's your I'll Do Better Tomorrow story. We'll find out more next. Stay with us. We're back. This is the Happy Families podcast. Kylie, what is your I'll Do Better Tomorrow story, since I don't have one?
I've obviously prefaced my conversation with you before the break about how homeschooling actually has completely, I don't want to say turned my life upside down, but it's completely changed the way I get to live my life.
Yeah.
And I get to the end of the year and I do feel burnt out and I do feel really disconnected from the people that I love and care about. And so I get into this mindset where it would be really, really nice to kind of hand her back over to the system and get somebody else to do the hard yards. And at the same time I was having those feelings, she got invited to go back to her school with one of her school friends and attend a school event. And I ummed and ahed about it and I thought, is this just going to kind of create more challenge for her and struggle as she tries to work out what she wants to do moving forward? Or is this going to be exactly what I need? She's going to go back, want to be there, and we just hit the button and, kind of pay the bills. But I decided that I needed to give her opportunities. And so I let her know that her friend had asked if she wanted to go. She actually didn't want to go in the beginning, but she changed her mind. And so she went along and she came home and she was really, really excited. And she said, Mum, I'm thinking I want to go back to school in year 6 or maybe year 7. But I need you to know I want to go back to my old school. I don't want to do a new school. Anyway, I left it for a day or two and I thought, I'm just going to tap back in with her about this. And so I went in and I said, do you think we could have an exploration conversation? We're just going to explore a couple of thoughts. I said, it doesn't mean that anything's going to change. I said, but I'd really love to understand how you're feeling. She said, sure, Mum. And I said, the other day you told me that you wanted to go back to school in year 6 or year 7. I said, well, do you know that year 6 means next year? So you're going to have the Christmas break and then you start year 6 work. And she said, oh, yeah, I don't want to go back to school next year. And I said, can you tell me a bit more about that? I said, if we were to sit down and work out the reasons that you would go back to school, like what are the pros for you? What stands out? The things that you feel like you're missing out on. She did such a great job. She was able to rattle them off really quickly. She just said that she really misses hanging out with her school friends. So for her, that's a pro. She gets to see her friends every day. She loves the fact that at school, there's structured learning, which she experiences at home, but she does it with others. So she's got the community at school. She highlighted that at school she gets to play on the playground every day, so she's moving her body, that she's got access to a library every day. This was really important for her. And that her time was always taken up at school. So I said to her, okay, well, that's a great list. I said, why wouldn't you want to go back to school? And she said, there only might, but I could get bullied. Like I might get bullied and I might, be mistreated by people at school. And I struggle sometimes listening to the teacher, so I might get in trouble. I don't like getting in trouble. I'm like, okay, anything else? She didn't have anything else. I'm like, okay. I said, can you tell me what it is that you love about being at home? And this actually blew me away because she had this beautiful list for going back to school. Like it sounds like,
yeah, it's like decisions
it's a done
made.
deal.
Yeah.
But the list about staying home like rattled off her tongue just like so fast. And she just said, I love that mum's my teacher. I love that I can get most of my learning done in about 2 hours each day, that it's flexible. And it means that if I want to be able to spend time with my friends in the morning, I can do my schoolwork in the afternoon or vice versa. I love that I get to do it at home in an environment that feels good, safe and familiar to me. She said that she has great friends in her homeschooling community and she loves that she can catch up with them pretty much whenever she wants. She's got lots of free time to be creative and do things that really fill her cup. And she's got more available time to do work around the house so she can earn some money. She's pretty entrepreneurial in that regard.
Well, entrepreneurial as in I want money from mum and dad. Yeah.
So I said to her, well, that's a really big list. I said, what are the cons? And she said, the screens are a really big issue. She really struggles to self-regulate when it comes to the use of screens, which means there's constant tension between her and I as I try to help her navigate that space.
Yep.
She sometimes gets bored because she's on her own a lot. And then sometimes feels like the lessons that she's working on are not engaging enough for her.
Yeah, that's been a big downside of one of the curricula that we're involved with is it just feels like it's school at home.
Yeah. And so I looked at that list and I said, so what do you think we should do? And she said, I want to stay home next year. And I said, okay. I said, and what about starting school in year 7? She said, yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So at this point, we've got another year. And I want to say I'm ecstatic.
You're right.
I want to say that I'm so glad that she's come to this decision for herself. The reality is I would love her to have the communal learning that she misses. I would love her to have that in an environment that enables her to tap into her strengths and her uniqueness. And it's really hard to find something like that in a system.
Yeah.
And so while I would love for her to have those things, I'm so grateful that right now she knows in her heart that what we're doing is actually the very thing that she needs right now.
Really important conversations to be able to take the time to sit down and to do the exploration, knowing that there's no expectation at the end of it. It just helps the kids to open up. They feel so heard and seen. And the fact that you took notes on it, it means they really pay attention to what they're saying, like they really think about the discussion. Kylie, our time is up, but I've just had a realization for the first time in 18 years, we're going to only have 2 kids at school next year.
I know.
We've got a daughter doing year 11 and a daughter doing year 6 next year. Oh my goodness. That means in 2 years, we're down to 1 child at school.
Don't
Not that I'm wishing the years
wish it away.
Oh my goodness. Thanks so much for listening. We hope that you've enjoyed our conversation today about Roblox, ADHD, school stuff, and a whole lot more. Have a great weekend. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds provides research admin and all of our other support. And if you'd like more info or if you'd like to get in touch, just go to happyfamilies.com.au.